Husky Stadium in DeKalb, opposites attract in the Class 4A championship matchup. Rochester with its eye on a fourth straight state championship, but the Rockets are going to face one of the most successful programs in Illinois state history. Geneseo and Rochester coming up next. Hi everyone, Matt Rodewald with you here from Husky Stadium. Our final game of the day. We've seen 3 good ones so far. Let's hope we get a fourth one to finish off a great day of football. And for the call, let's send it upstairs to Dave Bernhardt and Boomer Grigsby. Guys?
Well, I believe we will see another good one, Matt. Of course, we just got done with that overtime game, and as Matt said, opposites attract with Boomer. Every game that I come and do here in the state finals, there's always this story. And for this one, to me, it's old school Geneseo, new age Rochester.
Absolutely, it's the only way to put it. I mean, Rochester has a high-octane, explosive spread attack. I mean, it's the kind of offense you're going to see watching the NFL on Sundays and some major college football. And Geneseo is very old school, ground and pound, smash mouth football.
Well, we're going to find out how it's going to all play out. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
One will throw it, but only one will win it. The 4A title game coming up next here on the IHSA Television Network.
Linebacker number 54, Kyle Patterson.
We achieve goals.
Grow your own way.
Celebrate.
You can grow your own way.
Cherish and protect what really matters.
Welcome back to Husky Stadium on the campus of Northern Illinois University. We are all set for our Class 4A state championship ball game, Rochester and Geneseo. And I'm Dave Bernhardt along with Boomer Grigsby. And you say Rochester, you say quarterbacks. They've had a run of them. They have another one, Robbie Kelly. They have a great running back as well, and Drake Berberet.
Rochester's really turned into a quarterback institution. I mean, 3 Division I quarterbacks right in a row. I mean, Robbie Kelly has done a tremendous job this year of kind of stepping in, developing, continuing to grow fundamentally throughout the season. He's just been such an absolute blessing to kind of explode into the program, where normally an offense like this, they have to develop a quarterback for years. People think Rochester football, they think passing the football. They don't recall and they don't remember that, Rochester had a 1,500-yard rusher this year. This kid's an explosive running back. He's definitely an asset. He allows them to run the football and be able to throw the ball downfield and diversify. Then you have Matt Swain on defense. He's already committed to Illinois. He's 6'6". He's a big guy. He's going to play a big role in how he can disrupt Geneseo's offense.
And that offense features a couple of running backs that can go get it. First of all, Race Singbrush. He'll be joined by fullback Lane Akery.
Well, Singbrush is definitely their guy. I mean, he's the one that will line up in the slot. He's going to be one of the wings in their broken bone formation. They like to get him the football. Also, they'll line him in the slot when they look to throw the football. He's the leading rusher and the leading receiver. We've seen last game how important the fullback is in any wing bone offense. Lane Akery will be a huge factor in establishing the dive. And then Nick Verbeck. They're going to need this young man in order to apply pressure on Rochester's very explosive offense.
Well, we are set. We are ready to go. Does Derek Leonard get his 4th consecutive state championship? Or will be Geneseo, the tradition continuing in Western Illinois? It's coming up next. Derek Leonard is 9th season as head coach. He already has 3 state championships for Rochester. His team will receive the ball on the other side. Larry Johnson Jr. last time he was here was in 2009 when the Maple Leafs finished 2nd. Short kickoff. And a fair catch was called. Rochester will have the ball inside 30. Let's go downstairs and check in with Matt Rodewald.
We know Geneseo's program is successful. They haven't had a losing season since 1962, but the difference is they haven't won a state title since 1982 or something along those lines. It's been a long drought since they've won a title. As successful as they want to be, they want to stamp that with a big upset win tonight.
I'm standing.
Rochester with the ball. The Rockets play fast. 12-1 in the season. Their only loss was a forfeit loss to Sacred Heart Griffin. They'll start the ball on the ground. They'll get across the 30-yard line, and Drake Berberet.
Drake Berberet, ball carrier.
Berberet on the season. Boomer said over 1,500 yards rushing. This is an offense that almost splits it equally between run pass. We think of Rochester as strictly a pass team. They're both around 200 yards in both categories. There's the first pass of the game. And then we'll go with big yardage to Jeremy Bivens. Let's go to Kelly Crow.
Well, guys, the Rockets obviously looking for their 4th straight state title. You ask head coach Derek Leonard what is so good about his offense. Of course, we're seeing how quick it is, and he says he just doesn't like to give his guys too much time to think. Use their natural instincts, right?
That should serve us all well, Kelly. And again, this will be a quick offense. Now, you see Robbie Kelly getting the call from the sidelines, but he'll make a lot of reads on the fly as well. Nothing there. Kelly to keep the big man, 6'2", 204-pound senior, brought down, and very quickly Nick Murbeck will have to come off the field. He lost his helmet.
And that was a mental mistake of some sort. You can see Kelly turns right now to throw the now pass on the bubble screen, and the receivers actually, all 3 were going out blocking.
Kelly threw for 268 yards in the quarterfinal win over Altop, 305 in his semi-win over Alleman. And close to a first down on the reception is Drew Hill. Hill checks into this ball game, the leading receiver for the Rockets, almost 1,000 yards. That his 61st catch of the year.
And you will really see their offense move. A lot of these spread offenses will, no huddle, but they'll still long count, and they'll kind of make their adjustments from the sideline. Rochester's the type of team that will just get up and move. They will push the tempo.
That completion will go to Bivens. And the flag is tossed just as he goes out of bounds. It would be inside the 45-yard line. It would be a first down, but this may be coming back. And that's interesting. We'll get the call here first. The hold going against Rochester. Kelly makes a comment. Derek Leonard likes his team to play on instincts. You say they play fast. Derek Leonard at times very animated on the sidelines because he wants them to get that snap off faster and faster and faster. It's just a style of play that teams really don't see.
Well, it's very difficult to defend, and then, obviously one of the things is it wears down teams. There's his call. But, that mistake on that first series is very unusual at Rochester. They run fast tempo, but they practice at fast tempo as well. They minimize their mental mistakes.
10-yard penalty will bring it back, 3rd down and long. A lot of time for Kelly into traffic. And it's picked off. Kelly, the interception. Trevor Craig will pick it off. For Kelly, that is only his 6th interception of the year, but the early turnover will give the ball to the Maple Leafs.
He's going to hear your phone on the sideline when this ball shouldn't have been thrown. Essentially double coverage. You see the linebacker coming in late, making it 3, but there wasn't really any way to get this ball as far downfield as he needed. I think he felt a little pressure on the end there, didn't really get a step through his throw. But this is the way that you play and the way that you can beat Rochester's. You have to create turnovers, but then once you create the turnover, you have to capitalize on the turnover.
Rochester had the ball for less than 2 minutes. Now Geneseo, 12-1 record, their only loss coming in week 4 to Sycamore when they were shut out 17-0. This in offense, average margin of victory has been 32 points if you take away that loss to Sycamore. The first carry of the ball game for Geneseo will go to Lane Acree.
Ball carrier for Geneseo.
And if you watch the last game, they were also a wishbone type of football team, but you're going to see some big differences in the way that Stillman Valley runs a wishbone and the way that Geneseo does. Geneseo is by nature more of a double tight broken bone team with a single wing. You won't see them go to the flex bone, wishbone that Stillman Valley did throughout the entire last game.
You just joined us, make sure you catch the replay. 43-41 overtime victory for Stillman Valley. Gain of about 5 around the left side. Brian Webster the carry. We are in game number 4 here today. Class 4A championship ball game. They pitch here to Webster. Bring up about a 3rd down and 4.
3rd down, 3rd and 4.
Just run the flag sweep here, but this is a program that runs the wishbone offense to a T. That is such a detailed offense. You see them each play, they carry out their fakes, whether they have the ball or whether they're not, in order to keep defenses on their toes.
Fullback Acree. Oh, he puts a looking on, and he has a first down to the 46-yard line. Lane Acri didn't become the regular fullback until week 7. He had 17 yards total rushing then. Since then, he's exploded in the playoffs. 78 carries for 501 yards and 8 touchdowns. There's Acri. Rochester covers that play very nicely. Well, the final game of the day, it's nighttime, and the temperature is dropping down to 29 degrees. The winds have picked up just a little bit, 10 miles per hour. We were out between games. You could feel the effect of the wind here a little bit, much more so than earlier today. It's blowing behind the back of Geneseo. Not necessarily that would affect their passing game, because they do not pass much. Only 64 passes attempted all year for the Maple Leafs.
With the wind increases along with the cold weather, it has a tendency to make receivers drop more balls. And then if the wind catches, just any seams of the football could make the pass sail.
The handoff comes to this side, and Ray Singbush will get his first carry.
Ray Singbush on the carry.
Singbush on the season, the leading ground gainer. That will put him over 1,000 yards, right at about 1,000 for the season.
Singbush is a guy they like to get the ball to him. And you see they pull a little counter. They have the right tackle, Verbeck, pulling around the big guy. Singbush tries to cut up inside. Rochester does a good job of just filling all the gaps.
Geneseo offense has scored about 36 points per game, and that's including that shutout loss to Sycamore. Acri gets the call up the middle. That time, the defense for Rochester right there. Defensive unit: Blake Thompson, Brock Busher, Hunter Brooks, Matt Swain, Steve Russell, Audie Staten, David Gunner, Dylan Hanlon, Evan Simbel, Jeremy Bivens, and Tyler Mazzini.
At the 50-yard line.
And a fourth down and 6 to go for Geneseo at midfield, and they will kick and try to take advantage of this wind. Somewhat of a crosswind, but still favoring the Maple Leafs. Now we have a delay on the field. So Geneseo will take the timeout. Not sure, I was trying to count the number of players on the field.
I believe they only had 10 players on the field. Coach was looking on the sideline for somebody.
On the other side for Rochester, they figure to get the ball offensively. The Rockets have averaged almost 43 points per game. These two teams very opportunistic on the defensive side. Rochester a +9 in turnover margin. For Geneseo, a +21. They have forced 40 turnovers, 15 fumble recoveries, or 15 pass interceptions, and 25 fumble recoveries.
That's an incredible ratio, and it's a testament to the program, and it shows why they've been so successful throughout the year. And really, if you're going to come and you're going to compete in a state finals game against an offense that's as explosive as Rochester, the best way, most efficient way of defeating them is creating turnovers.
Kevin Woolek to do the punting, doubles up as the kicker as well for Geneseo. Pretty good kick. A return from the 10. And out to about the 20-yard line. Return for Jeremy Bivens after a 41-yard punt. 11-yard return. No score. Each team has had the ball once here in your 4A title game.
The IHSA Football Championships are proudly presented by Country Financial. Achieve financial security.
With Kelly Crow, Matt Rodewald, and Boomer Grigsby, I'm Dave Bernhard, and a sub 30-degree night. Congratulations, fellas. And an opportunity on statewide TV and all across the internet. Show how cold it may become for you. Just like that, we have a penalty.
False start. Offense. Remains. First down.
There you see the domination that Rochester has in the first quarter, scoring 179 points. That's through 13 games. Kelly will keep it. Robbie Kelly will get to the 24-yard line. Kelly not necessarily a runner this year, known more for his passing. He gets 8 on that play.
Yeah, Kelly's such a talented player all the way around. I mean, he's done a tremendous job at the quarterback position this year, but he can run the ball. Because this is the state finals game, I wouldn't be surprised to actually see him run the football a little bit more often.
Under a little bit of pressure there, forced the incompletion. Robbie Kelly, you see him right there, number 3. Derek Leonard said he's the most improved player he has ever had. Just gone above and beyond. Another penalty, illegal receiver downfield for Rochester, and Derek Leonard doesn't like it.
Rochester hurting himself early. It's uncharacteristic of them to come out and had a mental assignment earlier on the pass that Kelly had to keep it. For this call.
That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Then had an offsides and an illegal receiver downfield.
After the penalty decline, 3rd down. Long for Rochester. It's a very quick defense for Geneseo. Kelly complete on the middle. 1st down to the 40-yard line, and Bivens. 16 yards in the completion of Jeremy Bivens. Number 2 receiver behind Hill.
Rochester's so difficult to defend with so many different weapons and so many different formations that they can utilize, out of their offense. But I mean, they simply caught him there. I mean, he just ran an inside slant, but there was no one in the middle of the field nor a defender. And Robbie Kelly has time. This is a quick pass.
Job in the backfield. Berberet gets back to the line of scrimmage, but penetration from this Geneseo defense. Again, a very small but very fast defense.
Well, this is a great job. A Geneseo defender coming in there and making a play in the backfield.
That was Brandon Mislow. He missed 4 games with an injury. Just came back in the 2nd round of the playoffs, and not much there for the Rockets. There's Mislow, number 46. Mislow was also the fullback leading rusher at one point. He went out with an injury. Acree took his spot at fullback. Acree did so well, they said, let's just keep Mislow on the defensive side of the ball. And it's now produced no gain in 2 plays. Kelly cranking it up deep. And again, throwing into traffic. An interception, but the flag is down. The interception return.
I believe they're going to call pass interference on Geneseo here because the high school rules, there is no uncatchable ball. Pass interference is pass interference.
Matt Rowley, the interception. Let's see how this one will play out. Flag was tossed about 5 yards behind where the ball was thrown. There's actually a couple of flags down.
I thought possibly the defender that was on the receiver actually made some contact, and then the other defender came in underneath for the interception.
I saw a clean interception. I saw 2 guys, 2 defenders, one offensive player, and just step in front of him. I didn't see what the flag was.
Both teams awaiting the decision.
It looks like it's before the interception.
That's the offensive unit you're looking at. Robbie Kelly, either way, not really happy with his throw on that particular play. Here it is.
Pass interference on the offense.
Okay, so the offensive pass interference, and Geneseo will get the ball. They will be penalized, but 2 turnovers for Rochester, their first 2 possessions. And Geneseo will get a chance here. We have no score. Kind of a weird beginning here in your 4A championship ball game. 4.5 to play in the first.
Grow your own way.
There's a first time for everything. We achieve goals,
Grow your own way.
celebrate,
You can grow your own way.
cherish, and protect what really matters.
We're scoreless with Geneseo coming up with their second interception already of the game. Robbie Kelly takes and throws this ball. The wind must be playing a little more of a factor than we think. But the actual pass interference on the offensive player, Geneseo comes up with the interception.
Matt Rowley will get credit for that interception, and he will give the ball to the Maple Leafs, starting their second possession at the 26-yard line. Those two turnovers, the two drives, Rochester's had.
Just assuming that this wind is maybe playing more of a factor than what we even really think. I mean, you can see the flags blowing, but it's suddenly 10 miles an hour. But Kelly had plenty of time to throw the ball, and he planted and released it with confidence, and it wasn't even close to being where the receiver needed it to be.
Quickly here to the near side. And yards after contact. Singbush the carry. And he will get it out to about the 34-yard line. That'll be about an 8-yard pickup. Well, there's the flags are the little ribbons on top of the goalpost. Now that end of the field is the open end of the field. And as we pull back, you'll see some student housing here at Northern Illinois University, but that's it. You got about 2 stories to block the wind. And again, here in this stadium, folks that have played here, they've indicated that when the wind starts, it swirls down there.
Well, you can see the larger flags in the back that are a little higher, and how they're blowing with conviction. And Kelly's, throwing the ball deep. These aren't short throws; they're long passes down the field.
Power game up the middle. This is an offense that, according to Geneseo coach Larry Johnson Jr., said, it hasn't changed in 40 or 50 years. It's what we do, and it's what our kids know. And it's what Larry Johnson Jr. knows because his father, Larry Johnson Sr., coached for a number of years at Geneseo. In fact, took the Maple Leafs to a state championship in 1982. That was after 3 consecutive title wins by Bob Reed, 76, 77, and 78. Geneseo, the first team to win 3 consecutive state championships. The most recent team here in 4A, Rochester. They're 3 wins. The Rockets 3 wins. Last year over Rock Island Allman, 43-18. A couple of years ago it was an interesting ball game, 43-39 win over Richmond Burton, and then in 2010 a 24-7 win over Allman. Quarterback for Geneseo, number 5, that's Luke Snyder. This offense creating a little bit of trouble for the Rochester defense, a defense that Derek Leonard said has really improved as this season has gone on.
I mean, their defense has definitely improved throughout the season, and one fortunate thing for Rochester is just last week in the semifinals they played Rock Island Allman, which is also a very run-first, pass, if at all, type team. And so they're coming into this matchup, and even though that they're very similar, there's little subtle differences, but Rochester should be familiar with playing against the dive, the trap, the counter, and the veer option.
It was a 46-21 win for Rochester over Allman. The last carry to Webster. This carry across midfield into Rochester territory will go for a first down, and Ray Singbush again. He goes for 10. Singbush, an all-stater. Team voted him captain this year. His dad, Norm, was a star in the 1977-78 state champs. His dad also went on to win national football titles at Augustana. So Singbush's run takes it to the 46-yard line, under 2 minutes to play in a scoreless first quarter.
Geneseo experiencing some success with the fly sweep. I mean, handing the ball off so fast. It's such a quick hitting sweep, and with a guy like Singbush with his kind of speed, he's done a great job of getting all the way to the edge.
You saw the right side of that offensive line jump. The official penalty call. Number 72, Nick Verbeck on the offensive side, one of the two-way players for Geneseo. We talked about him defensively. Talk about family lineage. Talked about Singbush's family. Well, Verbeck, his dad Ryan, was on the second-place team in 1990. In fact, Nick says, you know, I wouldn't say I want to follow in my dad's footsteps. I want to beat them. Webster, a little bit of room.
Verbeck, one of the better matchups in this game. I mean, he's a top college prospect, going against Rochester's top defensive line prospect in Swain. Those two should be battling it out all game long. And this time they just run the fly sweep the other direction, and still, though, they're able to get to the edge before hitting up a little bit vertical.
Ryan Webster's carried the ball for about 650 yards this season, third leading ground gainer for the Maple Leafs behind Singbush and Ingrid. Stepping down in 10. And it would be third and long. Ingrid gets a couple. This clock winding down. Rapidly playing first quarter. We showed you the graphic earlier that Rochester has scored 179 points in the first quarter of this season. They have a 0 on their side of the board. They have turned the ball over twice. And Geneseo will say, we don't need to snap it again. They'll walk off the field here at the end of one. We have no score in a game that is yet to really find its rhythm, unless you're a Geneseo fan, in which case you say, we've held them off the board. We're moving the ball a little bit. One quarter in the books here in your 4A championship ball game. No score.
Well, welcome back to a chilly DeKalb as we continue on here in the Class 4A State Football Championships, and we're tied at 0 here after one quarter. Coach Leonard, says he believes his Rockets defense is even better up front this year than they were a year ago. He says it's an experienced group that really put in the time in the offseason, and they have been darn good at stopping the run this year, and that's key in this ball game tonight. Another key, guys, he thinks they're peaking at just the right time. Wouldn't you want to peak right here in the finals? I think so.
I would say 14th game of the year would be the perfect time to get yourself playing your best ball. Now, they pitched a shutout here in the first quarter, Boomer, but so too is Geneseo, and the Maple Leafs really have the tempo of this game going their way. They'll go to the air here. Or not. A loss on the play. As Kelly said, the defense coming on strong. Number 62 is Audie Staten. He's a 3-year starter. He, along with Hunter Brooks and Matt Swain, all 3-year starters, they came up big here to start the second quarter.
Well, I mean, they had Geneseo in a 3rd and 8. I mean, one way to defeat the wing T is to get them behind the chains. I mean, force them to do things that they're not as comfortable with doing. Throwing the football, and the Rochester, as we spoke of, has a talented, very skilled defensive front.
No pressure on Wooler. They'll just let this ball roll, and Rochester to take it at their own 13-yard line. Third time the Rockets will have the ball. Let's see if they can establish their tempo.
That's what's interesting about a team like Geneseo. I mean, the score is 0-0, and we've already blown through a first quarter. And to them, by their game of chess schematically, they have the advantage right now. They want to control the tempo of this game. You've seen them. That was no accident how they kind of let the first quarter end without running another play. I mean, it's in their. They look at it as in their best interest to control the ball as long as they can, win the game through time of possession, and keep Rochester's high-octane offense off the field.
You saw only the second time this season that Rochester has been held scoreless. Ellen to establish the run. And nearly a 10-yard pickup. Berberet the carry.
This was a really great run, and I'll tell you why here. I mean, this is the guard tackle pull, but watch Berberet. Look how patient he is as a runner. He's right in between his two blockers. He actually has a hand on the inside one, and he doesn't try to do too much and try to pick a side. He stays behind the big boys as long as he can.
He's had games here in the playoffs, 192 yards rushing against Mater Dei, and 186-yard effort against Altai.
It's just so easy to be overlooked when you have an offense that's kind of regarded the way that Rochester's is, to then just look at a stat sheet and realize that they have a running back who's rushed for 1,500 yards on the season.
It's the third possession of the game for the Rockets. Their first possession, 6 plays and interception. Their second possession, 6 plays and an interception. Kelly to keep it all the way. He'll get to the 25.
Kelly is a very talented athlete. Like he's a good runner, and there's a reason why throughout the season, they haven't really let the reins off of him, but they will because this is the state championship game. I mean, he's the center of your offense. He's the quarterback. He's who can deliver the ball and get it to all of your other weapons. So it's not in your best interest to have him running the ball to keepers in order to put a lot of hits on.
He delivers it there, and that ball's fumbled. Loose ball. On the bottom of the pile is Geneseo. That's Cooper Humphreys with it. And now the decision is... Oh, we'll talk about it again. Here's Jeremy Bivens. He got the catch, the run. Well, that's an interesting call as the hit was put on that time.
They run the wide receiver screen. They get the ball out to him. You can see the lead blockers. This is just a great play. Geneseo coming in, stripping the football. I didn't catch the number there.
That was Ray Singbush, actually, that stripped the ball away.
You're in the second quarter of a football game, and Rochester has 3 turnovers.
16 yards, though, on that completion. The little pitch and catch, as they say that he was down.
Obviously not. They've said that he was down.
Middle, good timing pattern. It goes to Blevins, and he will have it close to a first down again. Let's take a look back at that play prior to this one, the pass and the hit, the strip, and
Singbush just comes right around the edge. The ball appeared, looked like the point of the football was out before his big hit.
First down catch the other way. That ball is a little high for the 6'1" Jeremy Bivens. Well, we saw a very tough call go against St. Joe Ogden in the 3A game. And that was a very tight call, too. Tough to see at full speed. Rochester will hang on to it. It'll be second down and 10 here. A hold up the middle near the 40-yard line.
Rochester now playing with the wind here in the second quarter, so if they attempt the deep ball, we'll kind of get an idea of whether it's affecting his pass. If at all, it should be in their favor.
It's third down. Going to ground, and first down and more. Slick little moves for Burberry. He goes for 14, and the chains will move. Greg Burberry is so slick with those feet.
This is an incredible run by Burberry. The reason, you see a lot of downhill backs with the power, but he's just such a patient runner. He waits for the hole to develop and just kind of sneaks his way through.
And he fights and bangs and he stretches for another first down.
He's a fast guy, but he plays running back position with such great vision.
A 24-yard run. And inside the 15-yard line. Kelly will have to fall on it. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald.
Well, this rhythm is really quick for Rochester, and it's giving Geneseo problems. This is something you cannot practice against throughout the week. The only thing you can do is look back into your schedule to see if you played anybody in the past couple of years. Canelan's one of them. They're having trouble getting guys on and off the field.
That's exactly how Derek Leonard would like it.
It's one of the advantages of running his spread offense and then having the ability to utilize a tight end in the backfield or, on the line. And with his running backs, he's running this high-octane, up-tempo offense. You don't allow the defense to make adjustments and personnel changes. They simply don't have the time, especially when you're on one edge of the field. They don't have the ability to run them off.
Robbie Kelly coming right at you. He was looking for Bivens. Good coverage on the play for Geneseo is Trevor Craig. Craig with an interception already tonight. This will be the 12th play of this drive. So Kelly looked to the sideline. Derek Leonard stepped about a yard onto the field to give the call, and here we go. To the end zone in too much. He was looking for Colt Piper. Piper, the son of assistant coach Troy Piper. Colt's grandfather in attendance watching this ball game. Very happy to have him here in DeKalb.
They had the right play call. It was just a little bit too much. I mean, the ball sailed on him a little bit and got away, but they had the correct call. I mean, the receiver was open.
And on 4th down, it appears as if Rochester will look for the field goal here. Grant Fitzsimmons, 2 of 5 this year, as long as 32 yards. This will be a 35-yarder.
He's got the wind to his advantage.
We'll get a look at it here. And that's wide right. And a flag's down. And so is Fitzsimmons.
He appears to be in a lot of pain and roughing the kicker penalty.
Grant Fitzsimmons, 6 foot, 155-pound junior.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense. Automatic first down.
Well, that ball was wide right. No weight being put on Fitzsimmons' leg. Oh!
You can see they're just rolled up on Geneseo player being aggressive, going for the block.
That was Trevor Craig that came in hard. And 2 bodies met. A bad angle for Grant Fitzsimmons, but a big play as far as the penalty is concerned, because now the ball sits inside the 10-yard line.
Then we'll have to see if this can affect the game even more, because now you have the starting kicker who's just went off the field and appeared he could not put any pressure on it.
Only about a yard for Berberay. See number 23, Greg Berberay, not a big man. He's grabbed initially number 34, Ryan Pitra. 2nd down and goal. Berberay to the outside. Inside the 5, Berberay to the pylon. And Rochester hits the scoreboard first.
This kid can really run the football. I mean, it's interesting. You see guys that have unbelievable speed. You see the big power backs, even like we did this game. But just see how patient he is as a runner. He comes downhill, there's nothing there. He expands it out. Then watch him right there as he kind of hides behind his blocker, allows him to get the defender out the way, and then seizes the green ahead of him. It's a unique skill and a very hard-taught one for a running back in order to give him the gift of having that patience and that vision of the field and kind of knowing the way the play is going to take place so you know where your lane is going to be.
Well, now the impact of the injury to Fitzsimmons appears right now. Fitzsimmons, the kicker, most likely would have gone on to kick the extra point, but instead, Rochester to go for 2. And they stopped the play to reset the play clock. And a 6-0 lead for Rochester. Looking to build on that. Berberay now to come join Kelly in the backfield. Berberay will get it, and he's got his 2. Berberay, an 8-yard touchdown run. Berberay, a 2-point conversion. An 8-0 lead for Rochester. Drake Berberet making it happen on the ground. The air game, not so strong yet, but here's Berberet. He finds that corner. It took us to the 7:38 mark of the second quarter before we got our first points, but Drake Berberet accounted for all 8, capping a 14-play, 88-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 37 seconds. There is Berberet. He'll get a little bit of a break. Berberet, as we said, checked into this ball game, rushing for over 1,500 yards. Tonight he has 57. But again, Rochester at least now playing without their kicker, Grant Fitzsimmons, but as you said during the break, Boomer, that will have an impact a lot of different ways in this game, not just in terms of Rochester not having their regular kicker, but what Geneseo may need to do. And stepping out of bounds on the kickoff is Geneseo. Let's check in with Kelly Kroll, the update on Grant Fitzsimmons.
Grant Fitzsimmons right now, guys, having that left foot taped. I watched him come over and sit down for a second, pointed to the outside of it and kind of behind it, saying that was where he felt the most pain, but he's shaking his head like he wants to come in. I watched him walk over to the bench that he's now getting taped on, so he was putting pressure down on it. That's clearly a good sign, and I bet if it's up to him, we're going to see him back in this ballgame.
Well, for one thing, you'd hope that Fitzsimmons gets into this game. For another, he plans on playing tennis in college. You need a strong ankle for that, and Snyder, the quarterback, to keep. You know, it's interesting, Grant Fitzsimmons, he refuses to practice tackling in practice. He just doesn't want to be a part of that. He doesn't want to be a part of contact or tackles, and there, just unfortunately for him, he gets his ankle rolled on.
Well, I'm sure he wants to come back in the game, but I have no doubt that the team physician is not giving it a look and making sure that it's not something more serious. The amount of heart and adrenaline he has, I have no doubts that he wants to return to the game, but it absolutely could change the scope of this football game, especially if it's a tight game, because now every time Geneseo is going to put points on the board, they're going to have to go for 2 or you're always going to be trailing.
Ryan Webster, good speed.
Ryan Webster, the ball
will get him pick up a first down for Geneseo.
Picks up a first down for Geneseo.
See how quickly the quarterback Luke Snyder, a 3-year starter, is able to get that ball to his running backs. Fresh set of downs here for the Maple Leafs. Singbush, not much room there.
We've seen that throughout the season. Rochester is prepared for that. Whenever they're in that unbalanced left formation, with the wing and a wide receiver out, and there's no motion in it, it's been 100% sweep to the left every time. And Rochester sniffed that out from the very beginning.
No gain on the play. Coming up to the midway point here in the second quarter. Geneseo with the remarkable 51 straight winning seasons. Made the playoffs 17 of the last 18 years, but this year's seniors did not make it 2 years ago when Geneseo finished 5-4 and didn't have enough playoff points. The illegal procedure call will go against Geneseo, and it will be the whiteout. A little bit of a flinch. That's enough.
Well, you can see on the play something that Rochester is doing defensively. The moment that fly sweep was occurring and the man was in motion, there must be some sort of call from the linebackers because the down tackles all moved over left the gap.
Jordan Milkey, the 5'9" senior. Second down and long. Everybody in tight. Singbush gets the penalty yardage back, and that's all. Ray Singbush so quick.
Rochester tackled by 41, Eric Yeakel.
Eric Yeakel right there. Talk about playing assignment football, that's what Yeakel did.
Well, we just talked about that after last game, and it's a difficult thing to do throughout an entire football game, is being consistent with your assignment. The moment you try to do someone else's job is the moment that you're going to give up a big play.
Rochester has Geneseo right where they want it. Third down and 10. Time of possession belonging to the Maple Leafs. a pass short of the first down. Coming up about 2 yards short.
Snyder's pass complete to Ray Singbush.
Singbush with that reception, but it will be 4th down and 4th and 2 at the 45-yard line, trailing 8-0. 4:30 clock running in the first half. What does Larry Johnson Jr. do here?
Singbush is their top receiver along with their top rusher. And the reason for that, he's usually the speed guy in it, but at the same time, he has such great ball skills. And whenever you're in that wing set and you go to release to the defender, they're not quite sure whether you're just arc releasing to the next level for a run play or whether you're releasing downfield for the pass. So it puts a lot of linebackers and safeties in a moment of panic, and they're not sure what the wingback is doing.
Geneseo takes the timeout. Big play coming up when we come back in an 8-0 game. 4th down and 2 for Geneseo, trailing by 8. That much time remaining here in the first half. The ball is at their own 45.5-yard line. Maybe more like a yard and a half. Rochester defense finally sends their 11th man onto the field. Ooh, and they had a receiver uncovered, and Rochester will have to take a timeout. Well, there was confusion, Boomer. Out of this timeout, Rochester had 10. Their 11th man came running all the way across the field where there was a receiver who had nobody on him.
It's very uncharacteristic of Rochester. There's been several mental mistakes already in this football game, and it's really quite unbelievable that they're leading the football game 8-0. I mean, they have 3 turnovers and several mental errors.
Right there at the bottom.
An excellent timeout. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, there could have been a check that they could have made from the line of scrimmage and just quickly turned and threw the ball.
Here in game number 4 today, already we've crowned 3 state champions. Lena Winslow in 1A. Big win for Newman Central Catholic. In 2A, we had a great ball game. An overtime game that Stillman Valley wins their 5th state title over St. Joe Ogden, who was looking for their 1st. And of course, this matchup that finds us in an 8-0 ball game with 4:11 to play in the first half. And again, a full day of games tomorrow beginning at 10 o'clock. Don't miss it. Starting at 10 is Montini and Sacred Heart Griffin. Sacred Heart Griffin, coached by the father of Derek Leonard. Here we go, 4th and a yard and a half for Geneseo. The pitch. Oh, that will be close. Singbush. This spot will be crucial.
Dylan Hanlon, the linebacker for Rochester, came downhill with authority. He actually comes from the backside, coming all the way across the formation to make this tackle.
No, check that. That was Ryan Webster on the carry. And they will have to bring the chains out in an important measurement here with 4:05 to play in the first half.
It was great pursuit by the weak side linebacker, scraping to the open hole and making contact at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, first down, Maple Leafs.
Just not quite enough. Great play, man. Just not quite enough.
So a fresh set of downs for Geneseo. They've only been shut out once this year. That was in the 4th week of the season. Make that a 19-0 loss to Sycamore. Singbush. Oh, he brought down nicely. What a stop on the play. Ankle tackle by David Gunter, number 43.
Excellent pursuit by Gunter. I mean, they run the fly sweep. They even have a lineman pulling to come all the way down, attack at the line of scrimmage, make the open field tackle.
Tackle for a loss by Gunter, the senior 216-pound linebacker. Second down and 11. Snyder looking to throw, looking to run. Snyder, oh, if he'd have been able to slip out of that tackle, he would have had something.
There was nothing but sideline open. If he would have been able to get by here, I mean, he rolls out. You see the Rochester defender closing on what he thought was going to be the open corner route. Decides to keep it. Tries to play a little bit move, and the stiff arm just doesn't quite make it. He slips over the top of the helmet, but if he would have got past that one, there was nothing but sideline.
Big tackle by Evan Simple. And a big 3rd down and 5 with 2:40 to play in the first half. The Rockets stretch this play out.
Ryan Webster is
and it will be 4th down after the carry by Webster.
And this is Rochester's game plan. They're going to try to spill everything. They want to force Geneseo to run the ball horizontally. If they do that, they know that they'll have more time for their defenders to come in and help gang tackle.
And this time,
down in 5.
a little bit too much on 4th down. Geneseo to punt. They will kick this ball away. About 2 minutes to play in this first half. Bivens is deep for Rochester. Willett. Just roll this ball to the 13.5-yard line. And Rochester will have a minute 44. About 86 yards to go. Build on next up the lead, following that 39-yard punt.
14-yard line.
There's more than enough time for a team like Rochester to march down the field. It's kind of, you would think that 4th and 5 at that field position, would just be a standard punt call. But it's the kind of thing that when you know you're facing a team like Rochester and the ability to score.
Run out of bounds. A couple of timeouts left for Rochester. Penalty flag. Did not see where or when that flag was thrown. The Geneseo fans like it. Holding call will go against the Rockets, who have their first 2 possessions today. Remember, they had a couple of interceptions. They turned the ball over twice. Now they'll be pushed back a little deeper.
They've only turned the ball over twice. I actually keep forgetting because we had such a good view of the forced fumble that I thought it was 3.
Kelly, the only man in the backfield. Robbie Kelly, senior quarterback. Missed 3 months of training in the offseason, lost 30 pounds because he contracted mononucleosis. His pass goes to Berberet, incomplete.
Geneseo trying to do some disguise with their secondary. I mean, they're showing more of a cover 3 look with one safety rolled down, and then before the snap, the other safety kind of rolled back across the formation. Trying to do everything they can in order to disguise the secondary so Robbie Kelly doesn't have an idea of who to look to first.
So on number 5 there for Geneseo, Luke Snyder going both ways. From his own goal line, deep down the middle of the field, and that's overthrown by about 5 yards, and that is the exact direction the wind is blowing. That ball blown over the head, or at least beyond the reach of Jeremy Bivens.
Once again, the ball just kind of gets away from him. It sails on him. He's got good time. Just a few yards too far.
Bivens had his man beat by a couple of yards. That stops the clock with 1:29. Remember, Geneseo has 1 timeout remaining. It's 3rd down and 16 yards to go for a first down. Look for the safer play. Geneseo will get this ball back. Let's see if they use a timeout here.
Tackled by 67 A.J. Armian.
Timeout. Geneseo.
Judging by the look of Leonard, it still appears that there's more mental mistakes going on than we can even recognize. I mean, whenever the head coach has a look like that on a sideline when the team's coming over, normally it is because either someone has ran the wrong route or aligned wrong, or maybe Kelly didn't make the correct audible or something of the sort. But
the other side was a little different.
It appears that, when they found a way to stalemate him on this drive, there's some interesting play calling there, and then he took his opportunity to go downfield. But it appears that they're still making more mental errors than even we can see.
Yeah, that body language and the facial expressions tells quite a story for Derek Leonard. He looks at the board. His team is only up 8-0, and this is a team, Rochester, that they have averaged in the first half over 31 points per game. Robbie Kelly doubles as the punter, but he has some receivers out here on 4th and 11. Will kick it. Dangerous attempt there by Devin Haxby, but he will have the ball for Geneseo inside the Rochester 45-yard line. 41-yard kick by Kelly.
You can hear the Geneseo coaches yelling from the sideline, and that set, it looks almost like an empty set that they're punting the ball out of, and the inside receiver, on the trip side was actually wide open with no one above him until finally at the last minute the linebacker kind of adjusted out a little bit.
67 seconds to play in the first half. 45 yards to the end zone for Geneseo. Snyder. That ball was thrown hard. A tough catch to make, and unable to come up with it is Jordan Milkey. And they'll get another shot at it. Get a good look.
Good throw. One of those, cold night, sometimes the ball just kind of slips through the hands. Sometimes when the fingers lose a little bit of that sensation called feeling, it's hard to tell exactly where your fingers are wrapped around the football.
Yeah, we're below 30 degrees and a 10-mile-per-hour wind. Snyder has a little bit of an opening. That's enough for a first down. That will stop the clock. Reset the chains. 54 seconds left. A 12-yard run for quarterback Luke Snyder.
Snyder does a good job here. Rolls out. He sees the lane, feels on it, takes it downfield, continues to fall forward while he's getting smacked by different Rochester defenders.
Throwing again. That's out of the reach. Left side is trying to push that a little bit.
Throwing the football is not what they do, so the timing of the route is just kind of off. It's not something that you see them do. I'm sure it's not something that they practice habitually. So they're in a situation they're trying to march the football down the field, get some points on the board before half.
Kevin Willick warming up on his sidelines. He's attempted 5 field goals this year. He's made a couple as long, 35 yards. So they'll have to get a good 10 to 15 yards to get him within his range.
Well, I think they're going to need to get a little bit further than that because he's going to be kicking against the wind.
2 of 5 this season. We'll see whether he gets a chance. See whether Snyder gets a chance, throws it up, and luckily for him, it sails out of bounds. That stops the clock with 44 seconds left. Maple Leafs using every last bit of this clock, every last bit of the final minute and a half here. And base for the 3rd down and 10.
He didn't really have a lot of time there. He had outside linebacker Evan Semble coming around the edge, and then defensive end Matt Swain. That ball was thrown away due to pressure.
Snyder again high, looking for Milkey, and it'll be 4th and 10.
Snyder's pass
on the play by Brock Busher, number 85 for Rochester.
It's incomplete, brings it 4th down, 4th and 10.
I don't know if they would have had a first down had this completion hit. There was Busher right there. Here comes the punting team. whether Willick, yes, Willick will drop back to punt. Keep in mind now that Rochester has plenty of time, and they have 2 timeouts remaining once they get their hands on the ball. Willick trying to make it tough. And he's going to make Rochester earn it. Great job by Willick and his coverage team, and that's exactly where the Rockets will start it at their own 5-yard line with 36 seconds to play and a half, a 27-yard punt. But where the ball ends up is more important than the numbers that will go behind Willick's name. Derek Leonard has that play call sheet out. He needs 95 yards.
Outstanding special team play there. I don't think people understand how difficult it is, for a punter, even at the NFL level, to put the ball within the 10 and almost have that timed where you know you're kicking that direction. Your gunner runs under and catches the football, prevents it from going into the end zone.
I don't really get that.
Well, the play call sheet for Derek Leonard says, let's take a knee, let's let this first half run out. That's not the look of a man you think that has a lead at the half in your 4A championship ball game, as Rochester looking to win their 4th straight title. Only 8 points on the board. The Geneseo fans are thrilled. They trail 8-0, but they have held a high-scoring Rockets to just a Drake Berberay touchdown and a 2-point conversion run. Geneseo will take it where they are right now. We're at the half here in your Class 4A state championship ball game. Rochester looking for their 4th in a row. Geneseo looking to get back into that first place trophy chase. And it's Rochester 8-0 at the half.
Grow your own way.
There's a first time for everything. We achieve goals,
Grow your own way. Grow your own.
celebrate,
You can grow your own way.
cherish, and protect
You can grow
what really matters.
Welcome back to Husky Stadium here on the campus of Northern Illinois University. We've completed 1/2 of play in your 4A championship game. It's 8-0 lead for Rochester, and Kelly Krull standing by with head coach Derek Leonard.
Coach Leonard, first of all, Robbie Kelly, a couple early turnovers, but then after that first score, I'm sure you were hoping he'd settle in a little bit. What do you want to see from him in the second half?
Just a little more consistency, better decision making on everyone's part. We don't turn the ball over like that, and the good thing is we did, and we're still up 8-0. So our defense is playing well, and we just got to come out and play our second half.
Speaking of that, you have to be happy with what your defense has done so far. I mean, this Geneseo team's only been shut out once this season. What are they doing so well right now?
Yeah, we're just flying around with the ball, being physical, and our defense is playing better on offense. So our offense has to catch up. We got to get stopped in the beginning of the second half and hopefully score a few points.
You watched Grant Fitzsimmons take a pretty tough hit down here. Now it looks like he's taped up and wants to go here in the second half. Do you think he will?
Yeah, the trainer said he could, so we'll give him a try and see what happens.
Great. Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks, guys. See you.
All right, thank you very much, Kelly. As you take a look at your halftime score, Rochester Geneseo, not the number of points you may have expected coming into this. Rochester looking for their 4th state championship. They've had a running clock in 3 of their 4 previous playoff games. Not so far here after 1/2 tonight. Final game of the day here at Husky Stadium on the campus of Northern Illinois University. Rochester leading Geneseo 8-0 at the half. And this is what took place earlier today in 1, 2, and 3A. Your state champions go to Lena Winslow, Newman Central Catholic, and Stillman Valley in a thriller. Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from action today. In 1, 2, and 3A, glad to have you with us along with Boomer Grigsby. I'm Dave Bernhardt. And Boomer, after looking at all those highlights this game, I thought we'd have our share as well. It's 8-0. I didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, no one's seen this game coming. I mean, if you had to chalk it up, I mean, Rochester is winning the football game 8-0, but they've made so many mistakes and turned over the ball twice. I mean, the game is by momentum way more in favor of Geneseo. I mean, this is exactly what they wanted to accomplish. They want to control the tempo of the game. They want to keep Rochester's Rochester's offense off the football field and create turnovers. Now they just have to score some points.
Derek Leonard was talking a couple of years ago. It was a back-and-forth game between Richmond Burton and Rochester. He had told us earlier in the week, no, you know what? There's going to be stops in this game. It's not going to be like that game from a couple of years ago, and his defense has come up with stops.
Well, and he said all along that, this is one of the better defenses that he feels that he's faced in the last several years. These guys are very talented. They fly around. They're fast to the football. But at the same time, you could see some of his emotion on the sidelines. It appears that his team is hurting themselves even more and then allowing Geneseo to really capitalize on opportunities.
Okay, as far as Geneseo is concerned, their offense been able to move the ball a little bit, haven't been able to really punch it through. Have they gotten their offense, Geneseo, have they gotten their offense in gear yet?
No, not really yet. Rochester's defensive front has done a great job of disrupting at the line of scrimmage. They've done a good job of linebackers coming scraping to the hole, and they've really kind of figured out early on that Geneseo was being successful with that fly sweep getting to the edge. And now the Rochester defenders are really stretching that play out horizontally, and then all the other defenders are coming into gang tackle.
It'd be interesting to be in the Rochester locker room right now, wouldn't it, to hear what Derek Leonard has to say to his offense and bat and his defense on the back. Geneseo will get the ball back when we start the third quarter, but when we come back, we'll have highlights and stats. Your 4A championship ball game finds the Rockets on top by 8. An 8-point game here in DeKalb, the site of the 2013 Illinois State Football Championships. We've already played 3 of those ball games. Just showed you the highlights. There are your scores. Tri-Valley comes up short, looking for their first state championship. So does Staunton and St. Joe Ogden. None of those folks picked up their first, but coming up tomorrow, we have got a load of state championships on that board. In Class 5A, that's going to be a beauty. A pair of unbeaten teams. Montini and Sacred Heart Griffin, that could be a shootout. Then in 6A, Batavia, they'll make the short trip here to DeKalb, taking on Richards in a battle of 12-1 teams. A game a lot of folks are looking at, another matchup of 12-1 teams. Lake Zurich, great defense, taking on Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel, your 8A champions last year. They dropped into 7A this year, and then the 8A championship ball game. Loyola Academy, they were denied a couple of years ago in a state title ball game. They will take on Naperville Central, a team that their 3 losses came in succession late in the season. So that's what it's going to look like tomorrow. Full day of action beginning at 10 o'clock. So make sure you join us for that one. Glad to have you with us here this evening from chilly Husky Stadium. Along with Boomer Grigsby, I'm Dave Bernhardt. And you take a look at this game, Boomer, we look at highlights over and over and over again. Not a lot of big-time highlights here tonight.
Very limited in the highlights. You expect to see a lot of big play, offensive plays, from Rochester, or breakout runs. But instead, you see the roughing the kicker here, which led to the penalty, which actually led to the only offensive score in the game by Rochester.
And that score comes from Drake Berberet from 8 yards out. He'll find a corner of the end zone. That's worth 6. He picked up a 2-point conversion run as well. As we take a look at the ankle of Grant Fitzsimmons, and he's out there teeing it up. That could be a factor as we move along, as we take a look at the first half statistics in this one. Not the big offensive numbers that folks from Central Illinois may have expected from Rochester. They still are outgaining Geneseo, 139-93, but only 72 yards passing. Now this is a team that has been balanced year in and year out, pass run. Not so much here tonight in terms of big numbers. Let's go downstairs to Matt Rodewald. He has Larry Johnson Jr.
All right, Coach, well, you've been able to hang right with them there, and no points on the board for you, but you've limited their opportunities. How do you like where your defense is faring so far?
Well, I think we've done a good job. Rochester is an extremely explosive team, and the key for us is you got to be in it to win it. And there's been so many times that, the game's been over at halftime, and granted, we don't have any points, but credit their defense, because I think they're really good. But we're in it. We got a chance now. We just got to make the most of it in the second half.
How have you simulated against their pacing, because they want to get you quick, they want to get you moving?
Well, we have seen spread throughout the year, and so we've been practicing it, obviously, but you can't simulate it. Your objective is in the first series of the game to get your feet underneath you, and we've gotten that, hopefully, so we can just move on.
One more on the opposite side. How important is it to sustain those long drives to keep them off the field?
We got to eat up clock. We have to be patient, and like I said, if we don't end up with points, we end up with a punt or something, and just keep the ball away from them.
Okay, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, head coach Larry Johnson Jr. trying to win a state championship, something his dad did back in 1982. Dave?
So far, Geneseo is eating up that clock. 2-1 margin in time of possession. However, they trail it on the board. 8-0. Our second half coming up next in your 4A title game from DeKalb. Low-scoring first half as we get ready to start the third quarter. Rochester leading Geneseo 8-0. And Boomer, for a team that's won 3 straight titles, you know, we should say a program that has won 3 state titles. I get the impression that Rochester maybe just a little out of sorts, maybe a little bit jumpy here tonight.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's uncharacteristic of them, as we've said throughout the game. I mean, you know, this is a place that they've been. I don't know if it's just Geneseo and the way that they've kind of been disruptive, and kind of you have to give the credit to Geneseo, because ultimately, you know, they understand the opponent, you know, in Rochester and how powerful an offense they are, and to be able to come out and really hold them to only 8 points is truly amazing.
Let's head down to the sidelines right now and check in with our Kelly Krull.
Well, Grant Fitzsimmons, guys, right behind me here, you know, took a pretty hard hit there in the first half. Came off the field, got wrapped up. He was here right before halftime, going through, practicing his kicks. It looks like he's going to go. He is extremely taped up. I don't know how he can even feel it in the cold right now, but he's going to go. It's looking like he's limping a little bit, but I know he wants to play in this one.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kelly, when he took that hit, we saw that ankle get rolled. I didn't think there was any chance that he was going to be back tonight, so that's good news for Rochester fans.
And judging by the look, the way that the ankle was rolled up on, I mean, it looked like it was kind of completely twisted underneath the Geneseo defender's body. And just the way that he could not place any weight on it on the way off the field.
Low-scoring first half here. As we said, Rochester checked in averaging 31 points per game in the first half, part of their 42.8-point average per game this season. On the other side, Geneseo, the third quarter has been their big quarter. Maple Leafs have outscored their opponents 147-14 in the third quarter. They will get their hands on the ball first. Green Machine, one of those old-time community getting behind their athletic programs on home games. They will line Main Street, the street leading into the field, with their John Deere tractors. They're just a little bit outside of the John Deere headquarters, so it's quite the spectacle. As Larry Johnson Jr. said, it's kind of a Norman Rockwell Americana.
It's an incredible environment to play high school football. I mean, the entire community rallies behind the high school football team, and Geneseo loves their football. And the Green Machine lining up with tractors, how intimidating but how inspiring that has to be for their own players to see the entire community come together like that.
That ball is a live ball. Rochester right there says they have it. That sideline was erupting. Which way are we going? Geneseo. Woo! Wow, what an open here to the third quarter.
Try to catch him off guard a little bit. Go with the little very short sky kick. It actually hits a player and the ball is on the ground. It's up for whoever wants to grab it. Everybody comes in, and obviously the Geneseo player came away with it in the end. You can see they're still scrumming for it.
So the Maple Leafs will start from their 36-yard line in the first half. Geneseo's average start was their own 30. They averaged 7 plays per possession. Luke Snyder is the quarterback. You give it to Lane Akers. He bounces off a man and will go backwards. What a stick! That interior defensive line for Rochester. Not sure how Akers stayed on his feet. And they're ripping at that ball as well. Number 43, David Gunter, was trying to spin that ball out of there. Lots of 2.
That's the way you want to start a game defensively, especially in a team. It's a wishbone team. You want to get them behind the chains.
Again, that time of possession. 8-minute advantage in the first half for Geneseo. Oh, the Rochester defense picking right up where they left off. Again, that interior defense for Rochester.
This is being won by the Rochester defensive front. They're attempting to trap the Rochester defensive tackle, and he just penetrates through the field, but instead of running all the way upfield, he slams hard into the offensive guard who's trying to trap him. It disrupts the entire play and doesn't allow for a lane to create for the running back to be able to hit him.
Defensive ends Hunter Brooks and Matt Swain. The tackle, Stephen Russell and Audie State. timeout called on the field. We've only played a minute and a half here in the third quarter. Geneseo timeout. They're in a little bit of trouble here in 3rd and 11. Geneseo cheerleaders on the near side of the field. Again, a short trip for Geneseo. Shorter trip than they headed to Champaign, or where we've been in the past. Remember, the odd number years will be here in DeKalb, even numbers back at Memorial Stadium in University of Illinois. 3rd down and 11 following the timeout by the Maple Leafs. Singbush. He can't get to the outside. He was looking for that hole to turn the corner. It never popped there. Number 10, Blake Thompson, made sure of that.
Rochester has just completely shut down this fly sweep. Geneseo was successful with it a little bit their first series. They try to go back to it again, but they're doing such a great job of stretching the field, and then ultimately their guys are maintaining their responsibility and keeping contained. There's no edge for Singbush to get to in order to cut up.
Kevin Woolen's been a busy man tonight. It's a wobbler. Bivens wants no part of it. He tells his teammates, get away. Rochester will have this ball just outside their 25-yard line. 37-yard kick from Woolen. Let's see what changes, adjustments, or decisions they've been altered in the locker room. We'll start right from the 25-yard line.
Derek Leonard is a great coach, but he's just a brilliant offensive coordinator. So I'm sure at halftime that he's adjusted and seen what Geneseo is going to utilize against them and figured out some different angles.
Burberry will get the 3-yard carry. This 25-yard line is a pretty good start for Rochester. The first half they started out averaging on their own 19-yard line.
Just start with a little guard tackle pull.
Something, and then the speed and pursuit of that Geneseo defense denied him. Now it's Rochester at 3rd down and about 7. Defense this season for Geneseo, they've only averaged 9 points per game that they've allowed. Their average margin of victory, other than the time they were shut out, was 32 points. 8 games, they've allowed a touchdown or less. Kelly throws, bounces it in, and Rochester will have to punt on their first possession here of the second half.
Kelly's just off today on throwing the football. I mean, he's got plenty of time here. I mean, he takes his proper steps, but just something on the release that the ball sails down on him.
Kelly doubles as the punter, but they always make you think. This end over end kick will take a great hop, and it will go out of bounds near the 20-yard line. And one thing that does, as you saw the Geneseo defense, they didn't really have a man back to receive the punt. They had to be, playing honest.
Well, I mean, Rochester is so explosive. I mean, they're essentially just in an empty set when they go to punt the football. And then your punter is also your starting quarterback. It's something that, as much as you'd like to play the special teams game and have some type of return, you more importantly have to honor the possibility of a fake.
But instead, Kelly booms a 51-yard punt. I shouldn't say boom, it just kind of rolled. 5 possessions, 5 punts for Larry Johnson Jr.'s team here tonight. He'll start this at the 20-yard line. Snyder keeps. Bounces off a couple of tackles for a quick 7 yards. Luke Snyder, 3-year starter.
And there you see the veer blocking, the downward blocking by the strong side of the offensive line, just kind of washing everybody down. Snyder decides to keep the football. And notice the moment he does, he sees the lane, he lowers his shoulders and tries to drive downfield.
7 yards on first down is exactly what Geneseo wants. And a first down they enjoy as well. Singbush will take it to the 34-yard line.
First down for Geneseo.
Singbush checking in with 25 yards on 7 carries in the first half. We haven't seen as much from Acree here in the, actually since the first, 2 or 3 minutes of this ball game in terms of carrying the ball, the fullback.
That's a play that maybe we'll see even a little bit more. I mean, essentially, even though out of a broken bone, they're still forming a way of running a triple threat with doing a double dive, but the quarterback has the possibility to not hand the ball off to either one of the two offensive players and keep it himself.
Webster, and he'll get about 10 on first down. Ryan Webster, 5'10", 165-pound senior.
These power rush teams are so good that if they can get to the line of scrimmage without having any contact, they're just so good at going downhill from there and always falling forward for positive yardage.
About 9.5 yards on first down for the Maple Leafs. There's Acree. Moves the pile forward and more. And that's first down in midfield, and exactly what Larry Johnson Jr. wanted, he's getting on this second possession of the second half.
An example of playing assignment football. I mean, someone has the fullback. He manages to find a little cutback lane and take it for positive yardage, but Rochester's defenders honored the quarterback and the pitch man all the way out.
Fresh set of downs from midfield. Webster hits it up for a gain of 4.
Geneseo forces you to stay with your assignments and honor your responsibility and not to try to remove yourself from the gap. I mean, they will just methodically move the ball downfield very patiently, running different variations out of that broken bone. I mean, we hadn't seen earlier in the game, and now we've seen 2 or 3 plays in a row where they're actually, rolling the wing around and doing actually a double dive, faking to the fullback, then handing the ball to the wing player.
34 of those 120 rushing yards for Geneseo coming on this possession. And you can add another 5 or 6. You can chalk up another first down. That clock continues to run. We're underneath 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Rochester has had the ball for 3 offensive plays here in this quarter, yet they still lead it 8-0 as the Rockets looking for their 4th consecutive state title. The other thing Geneseo does is they take this play clock down just to shorten this game. A 6-yard pickup for Acree, Lane Acree. Starting to make his presence felt here in the second half.
And this is their game. They will drain you, and they will just very patiently just continue to move the football. We've seen earlier today that they tried more with the veer option. Now they're going back to a little bit of a double dive, and it forces Rochester to be in a position to always be someone after the fullback, but it's easy each play to kind of get a little different disguise.
They have run the ball to the 20, now down to the 34-yard line, and they'll do it again. Acree bounces off the first tip. They'll stretch it forward to the 31, a yard short of the first down.
Gunter on the tackle for Rochester.
Acree, as we said, really has come on. He only carried the ball 4 times until week 7. Only had 17 rushing yards then. In the playoffs, he has really exploded. 8 touchdowns to go with 101 yards rushing and a 3rd down and 1.
Geneseo's offensive line is going to really take a stance this drive. They're winning at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They're preventing Rochester from getting any penetration the way they were earlier in the game.
Brandon Mislow comes into the ball game at fullback. Up and over he goes for a first down. Or make that Singbush with Mislow leading the way.
This has been the same play this entire drive. It's the double dive. I mean, you see the fake to the fullback, right up the middle to the A-gap, and then hands it off to Singbush, who's wrapping around and has a lead blocker.
Yet another first down in this drive, all the way to the 26-yard line. 54 yards in this drive, all on the ground, and more to come. Webster just keep hammering up to the 21-yard line. We talked about it in our 3A game today with Stillman Valley, and they fatigue that a defense can have getting pounded on play after play after play. I don't know if we're at that stage yet with 3.5 to play in the third quarter.
Well, and this is who they are. So as much as that Rochester runs the hurry-up offense, and you can assume with tired defense, Geneseo staple is moving the football, running power football. I mean, they're combo blocking, they're double blocking, so it's not just one-on-one blocks in the line. These defensive tackles are getting hit by multiple Geneseo offenders.
Singbush, he fumbles it inside the 10-yard line. Ray Singbush had burst through, but he'll give it away. The long drive comes to an end. Rochester holds the 8-0 lead with 3:03. They'll get the ball inside their 10. Take a look.
So right again, the double dive. Singbush has a great hold. He comes around. He's a little bit off balance. It seemed like he was kind of stumbling while he was falling forward, so he didn't have the ability to put both hands on the ball. He was trying to balance himself out, and while trying to balance himself out, the Rochester defender came in and stripped the football.
The Rockets to take over. And that ball's fumbled, but Burberry may have come right back to it.
Rick Burberry on the cover for Rochester.
Well, as we saw in the 1A game today, the 2 fumble returns by Tyler Oakley or Lena Winslow. Balls can take a good hop. Burberry, though, recognized it pretty quickly. He went right down on it. He got himself a first down out of it as well.
That was Cooper Humphreys coming in, getting the hand on Burberry's ball and forcing the fumble.
Kelly misfires on the pass this way, is looking for Colton Piper.
Accuracy is just off a little bit today. I'm not sure if it's the cold or if it's the weather, if it's affecting his hands and just kind of his feeling and how he's holding the ball. I mean, it's such kind of a touch release, and that ability to have that kind of accuracy is what differentiates him as a quarterback. But he's really struggling with getting the ball where he wants to put it tonight.
Burberry, the gain to the 20, and Geneseo looking to regroup a little bit. How demoralizing can that be when we're with an offense that just pounded the ball down the field and then a turnover spins it the other way?
Well, it's just how quickly the game can change. I mean, momentum is a cruel mistress. You can be one inning gone the next.
Kelly again, that ball dangerously close to being picked by Cooper Humphreys. Boy, Humphreys is closing fast. Piper, though, will get the catch, the 25-yard line.
And this pass was almost picked. I mean, right away he kind of shows it, and there's another Geneseo defender that comes through the lane there and almost had a chance to break on the ball.
Remember, Craig had the coverage. It was Humphreys that nearly had the pick. Third down and a yard here at 25. We're under 2 minutes to play the third quarter. Make that 4th down and a yard. Now what does Rochester do here? They're going for it. Kelly the throw, the completion, the first down.
Aggressive play call, but I mean, it shows the confidence that Leonard has in Robbie Kelly. I mean, he's been struggling tonight with a little bit of accuracy, and then to have 4th and 1, on your side of the field, on Geneseo's side of the field, and be able to make that throw and catch and completion for the first down.
Burberry made the grab. Yardage to the outside to midfield. That 4th down conversion seemed to put a little bit of spark here into the Rockets. A gain of 17 on this completion to Bivens.
You see how they do that. They run a little bit of a play action. This is just a wide receiver screen. The receiver turns at the line of scrimmage, catches it. The guard and the tackle to that side rush out and are the lead blockers.
Burberry picks his holes. A 6-yard pickup. Oh, we had a turn of events here. The fumble by Singbush inside the 10-yard line, and then 4th and a yard deep in your own territory that Rochester converts, and now they're on the move. An 8-0 lead for your 3-time defending Class 4A state champions. Kelly, first down. And the Rochester side of the field starting to get into a Geneseo fans, a little quieter than they have been.
It's the guard tackle pull, a design quarterback keeper, and it's something that we talked about. We thought we'd see a little bit more of this game, as Kelly is very effective running the football, but you still want to limit his hits.
That will be a loss on the play on the completion. Ray Singbush coming up hard. It's getting colder here in DeKalb.
It's a great play by Singbush. I mean, another wide receiver screen like a now with the offensive tackle going out to block, but he simply didn't have time. Singbush made such a heavy break on the ball, so fast and aggressive. He made the play right at the line behind the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 12. Kelly will go down. He thought he saw an opening he could squirt through. A.J. Marmion with the sack. Big defensive play. Well, we've had a few in this ball game. It's a low scoring for a title game. We've played 3. Rochester leading it 8-0.
The IHSA Football Championships are proudly presented by Country Financial. Achieve financial security.
Only one touchdown scored in this ball game. Came in the second quarter for an 8-0 difference. Here are your 4A referees: Brian Mason, Robert McGinnis, John Gorman, Ronald King, and Kevin Copeland. Working the final game here on a Friday evening. 4 games to follow tomorrow. Action begins at 10 a.m.
Geneseo's played well against the spread through the playoffs. I mean, they played very well against Rockford Lutheran in the semifinals, which is also a spread team. They did a great job of some of the things they've done tonight, creating turnovers and getting some pressure on the quarterback, collapsing the pocket.
Third and long. Kelly looking for 6. That's picked off. The third interception of the night for Geneseo ends this drive. Trevor Craig just picks up his second interception of the evening. So Derek Leonard's offense looking to regroup. Rochester fans not too happy. On the other side, if you're wearing green, right now it's all good. You trail, but you've got a chance.
There's a first time for everything. We achieve goals. Celebrate. Cherish and protect what really matters.
This was outstanding pass defense by Trevor Craig for Geneseo. He's slightly beat. He turns though, flips his hips, sprints down with the receiver, gets his head around and goes up for the interception. Second one of the game. Great pass coverage.
And with it, the Maple Leafs will move the other direction. And a big stick starts it. The stick by number 62, Audie State, a 3-year starter, 6'2", 252.
This is what you need on defense after a big momentum swing. Rochester actually running a little bit of a stunt with their defensive line. The defensive tackle swings out and makes the big play.
Last time Geneseo had the ball, they had it for over 4 minutes and 11 plays. But in that particular drive, they were setting themselves up with 2nd and short and 3rd and short. Right now it's 2nd and long. And longer. The defense coming alive this time. It's Eric Yankel, number 41 for the Rockets.
They try to run the toss. He's trying to get outside right away, but Eric Yankel does a great job of not just contact and getting off the block, but forcing it upfield past the line of scrimmage.
Right where the Maple Leafs did not want to be. 3rd down and 12. Opening couple minutes here of the 4th quarter. Snyder to the air. And it will be 4th down, and after an 11-play drive, this will be 3 and out for Geneseo. The wind will be at the back here of the punter, Kevin Woolak, but it will be good field position for Rochester.
Kevin Woolak in punt formation for the Maple Leafs.
Bivens standing only about midfield. And Rochester will start in Geneseo territory. Let's go down to the sidelines and Matt Rodewald.
You know, the one thing the coaches came over and said to Trevor Craig, you know, you can push him out to the outside a little bit more, kind of ride him all the way to the sideline. They're concerned about those routes along the sideline as a result, but there was no celebration. It's a matter of let's go, we got to do it, catch your breath. A couple more stops is what they want from their green machine tonight.
Backs are against the wall, so to speak, with the ball on their side of the field. Rochester has 3 interceptions tonight, 2 by Craig. And the running game for Rochester. Now which way is this going? Ball was fumbled. The officials say he was down, and the Geneseo fans are not happy. Drake Burberry on that carry. Oh, we've had a few of these here tonight.
Burberry blipping a little bit. He gets through the line, he gets stood up right there by Singbush. His knee clearly was down when the ball was ripped out.
Hard running quarterback Robbie Kelly, a first down.
And there you see the will of the quarterback that really wants to win the game. I mean, they run it, they run the counter, they have a lead blocker, but notice how he comes through there, lowers his shoulders. Doesn't just try to take the hit, he tries to initiate some contact the way that you see out of great tailbacks.
First down from the 30. Kelly keeps it for 5. A 10-yard run on the previous play. Puts up 5 more.
Tackled by 34, Ryan Pitcher.
Second down and 5. Boy, would a score here by Rochester be huge.
Second down and 5.
Their only score of the game came with 7:38 to play in the second quarter when Burberry scored on an 8-yard run and added a conversion run as well. He stays in bounds. Let's see, where did he step out? And a late flag is thrown. Bivens out of bounds. They put the ball at the 14.
Personal foul. Defense.
And that was when Bivens went out of bounds. Bivens coming right at you.
Running the screen route again. Wide receiver turns, gets the ball right away. He's got 2 other wide receivers. They're in a trip set that start stock blocking. I didn't exactly see why the flag was called. It didn't appear to be a late hit.
Yeah, Bivens, I think he thought he was out of bounds and then realized he was inbounds, kept dancing on the sidelines, and then took the hit. Nevertheless, first and goal from the 7-yard line. Kelly inside the 5.
Robbie Kelly on the keeper.
Well, when you have your quarterback that has been able to throw almost 3,000 yards, and he stands 6'2", 204, he's having a tough night throwing the ball, they may just ride him right out here. Instead, Burberry to the end zone. 14-0 lead on a 3-yard touchdown run. His second of the day by Drake Burberry.
Burberry doing what we talked about throughout the game. Like, he's just a very patient guy. He stays behind his block. Looked like there was a little chitter chatter after the play. I'm not really sure who the flag is going to be on here, but it appears they took a shot at Kelly, the quarterback, after he handed off the ball.
that is the case. We'll see if it is.
The flag didn't come right away, though, after, you know, I seen him tackle Kelly. But then it looked like there was just a little chatter going on, and then the flag came out. So I'm not exactly sure what the penalty is, but most likely it's personal foul, some sort of dead ball.
His last 3 yards for Drake Berberet puts him at exactly 100 yards rushing tonight. Now this will be interesting because penalty against Geneseo puts it at a 1.5 yard line.
Dead ball, a sportsmanlike conduct on the defense.
And that will allow Leonard to go for 2 here. It's 14-0 right now. What a great spot to go for 2. You get it and you force Geneseo into 2 scores with couple of 2-point conversions. If you don't, you still have the 2-touchdown lead. David Gunter and Dylan Hanlon, a couple of linebackers in there to lead the way for Kelly. Up the middle, dives in, and that's worth 2.
Kelly, 2-point conversion.
So the penalty enables Rochester to get 2, but it's the 6 points before it that are the biggest. With 8:25 to play in this game, Drake Berberet, his 2nd touchdown run of the night. Second quarter touchdown, a 4th quarter touchdown, a couple of 2-point conversions, a 16-0 lead for Rochester over Geneseo as the Rockets looking to win their 4th consecutive state championship. You know, and for Derek Leonard, his dad's playing in a championship game tomorrow. Never have a father-son won state championships in the same year. There's Robbie Kelly. Short drive, 48 yards. Took a little under 2 minutes to play. Rochester will take no chances on a long kickoff return. Let's go to the Rochester sideline and Kelly Kroll.
Well, head coach Derek Leonard said, you know, Robbie Kelly might be one of his most rewarding quarterback pupils because he didn't exactly envision him developing the way he has this season. Now, it may not be his best game tonight, but we're seeing the things he's talking about when it comes to some of those intangibles, like being a really smart guy. You see him going to the run a little bit, and guys, he said it has been a very rewarding year coaching him.
And he has had some great quarterbacks at Rochester. Luke Snyder, the quarterback for Geneseo, will scoot forward near the 40-yard line. You talk about some quarterbacks. How about Wes Lunt, Sean Robinson, Austin Green last year? All these Division I quarterbacks coming out of a Class 4A school. That's amazing.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. You know, I mean, and it's so unique as well, just the dynamics of Illinois state football, how, you know, in central Illinois, like the southern part of the state, they see so much more of the spread offense, where up in the north, a lot more of the Catholic schools and some of the larger programs run a lot more of the ground and pound, wishbone.
Short of a first down. That clock runs with 7:35. Geneseo can't take too long in their huddle right now. They're chasing 2 scores.
Dylan Hanlon.
It's a 3rd and down and a yard to go for a first down here.
3rd down and 1 at the 42-yard line.
Definitely 4 down time now for Geneseo. They'll get the first down here.
Luke Snyder on the keeper. Picks up the first down.
Get the first down, stops the clock momentarily with 7:08 left. This is not necessarily a quick strike offense for Geneseo. They come in averaging almost 36 points per game, shut out once this season. There's a 0 on their side of the board here with under 7 minutes to play in a 4A championship game. Downfield, nearly intercepted. It's an incomplete pass. The ball got picked up a little bit by the wind. Blake Thompson nearly had the pick.
A little bit of trickery of play action. He rolls out a little bit. And that would have been an incredible interception. Blake Thompson does a great job of breaking on the football and trying to go up for it at its highest point. You know, they'll say that, you know, a wishbone offense is not geared for scoring fast, but then yet a lot of times late in the football game is where they really start to wear on a defense, and then missed tackles and missed assignments sometimes lead to big breaks and plays.
Won't get one there as Snyder's brought down from behind.
But Rochester does not appear to be fatigued at all, and they're still playing very responsible assignment and gap accountable football. The biggest thing to notice is how Geneseo has taken some more shots actually through the air than the normal game. But Rochester's always been there. Their keys have always been their focus, and there hasn't been an open receiver running downfield.
Coming into this game, Geneseo had only attempted 65 passes this year. Snyder hit by Swain. He's got a man wide open. At the 25, 20-foot race to the corner, inside the 5-yard line. Completion to Drew Himmelman. They're not done yet after that 45-yard completion.
And there it was. Capitalize on throwing the ball. A little bit of a play action with some crossers, but they find the backside tight end that's crossing across the field, and there's just simply no one there to defend him.
Himmelman just runs out of a little bit of gas, but it's 1st and goal from the 2.
That's what you expect to see occasionally from a power rush team, though, is they can play action the football and catch the defense kind of sleeping on it a little bit.
To the goal line, touchdown. Touchdown run by Ray Singbush. Geneseo will need to go for 2.
They just do it so well. I mean, he's hit very hard. Rochester defender comes in, but they always fall forward. They're so good at on contact, falling forward with the ball.
7 plays, 67 yards, took 2 minutes and 41 seconds. A 16-6 game. And with this 2-point conversion, everybody wants to make sure it's all good. Geneseo will take their 2nd timeout.
This is a tough physical football team. It's very unique. You see in football at any levels that you've ever noticed someone that kind of underestimates their roster. Normally you see people kind of add a couple inches or 20 or 30 pounds, and in Geneseo's case they have a lot of examples of guys that look like they're a few inches shorter than they probably really are, and definitely a lot lighter.
Well, whatever size, weight they are, they're looking for 2 right here. They need to get their 2-point conversion to have a chance. And now you say you've got Singbush, you have Webster, you have Acre, you have Snyder. You've got 4 weapons you could go to here for 2 points. Which one would you hit?
I mean, it's tough to call. I mean, Singbush has always been their guy. He's the go-to player. He's the one that's been there for them all year long. But, you know, there's different angles of this game and what they're going to do. I mean, it would be probably a good time for a little bit of play-action pass, or maybe even some sort of way to cross the runners and get them open in the flat.
Himmelman again, he gets the 45-yard reception, he gets the 2-point conversion, and with 5:38, it's a 16-8 game.
Great play call, utilizing their personnel. Not something that you would expect them to do, but you got a mismatch on size. Just throw it up to the back pylon, to the corner, let your guy go up and get it. Good throw, good catch. Clearly why I am not a coordinator. There was no need for play action. When you have a size mismatch like that all the way out on the edge, throw the ball up. Give your big guy the chance to go up and get it.
Well, he's listed at 6'3", but he's towering over his teammates. A happy guy right there. Responsible basically for 8 points. He didn't get the touchdown, but he sure put him in position. And now, with 5:44 left, the interesting decision is onside or not.
I mean, it depends on how good of an onside kicker that you have. If you have a guy that has that ability to squib it, then maybe there's an opportunity to take a chance. But you have to risk. You're giving Rochester the ball in great field position.
Kevin Woolley, the kicker for Geneseo. He's put it on the left hash.
Kevin Woolley, kickoff for Geneseo.
See how they space their coverage team. Looks like they're bunching a little bit to the right side, not moving a bit. Just tried to punch it up, tried to find an open space, but Rochester had 10 men at about 15 yards of the 50-yard line.
Rochester had their hands team on the field. They were prepared for any of the sort. I originally thought they tried a little bit of a trickery on an onside kick there. They're bunched up to the right side, and you imagine he's going to kind of dangle the ball, on the ground as a little squibber over there to where all the help is. But decided to come back this way, with just a short little squib kick.
Geneseo with only one timeout remaining. Burberry the carry. Get about 4, maybe close to 5 yards on first down. The clock will move. Still, the Rockets get to the line in a hurry. They're ready to go. 25 in the play clock, but they'll drain this one down a little bit here. Or not? Yes, they will.
It's so crazy how this game changed so much with the roughing the kicker call to Fitzsimmons and forcing Rochester to go for 2 in a moment that they normally would have went for 1. Geneseo jumping right back in the game, scoring a touchdown, converting their own 2-point conversion. But now this game is ultimately going to come down to 2-point conversions because not only does Geneseo need to stop and score, they also need to convert the 2-point conversion.
They just allowed a first down to the Rockets, approaching midfield. Kelly has thrown 3 interceptions tonight. He'll hang on to it all the way here. Midfield. I'm not sure how many more times we're going to see Robbie Kelly put the ball in the air, especially with the 200-pounder banging up the middle like this.
Second down and 7 at the 50-yard line.
Guard tackle pull. Quarterback keeps it, tries to follow him up through the hole, but Geneseo's doing a great job of penetrating and fighting at the line of scrimmage and flying to the football. Derek Leonard said that this is one of the best defenses that they've faced in the last 4 years. He gave them credit before the game, and they have lived up to their expectation.
He's putting the ball in the hands of his offensive line as Burberry will carry. 3 yards short of a first down. That clock continues to tick. Down to 3:40.
Third down and 2 at the 45-yard line.
This is third down that could be about a 2-minute play. First down gain, you're going to pick up about 2 minutes on clock time if you're Rochester.
Rochester going more to their long count, where they'll come up and they'd like to kind of bark a little bit to see how Geneseo is going to adjust and look to the sideline for the call from Coach Leonard.
Now they got that clock all the way down to 2 seconds. Now we'll have to take a timeout to avoid the 5-yard penalty with 3:14 to play in this game and a 16-8 lead. It's not come easy for Derek Leonard in his 9th season, 83 wins and 24 losses. He took over in 2005. His first team was 3-6 and a couple of 5-5 years. In 2009, got to the semifinals and then 3 straight state championships. Well, if you enjoyed today's football, you will love tomorrow. Get ready. 10 o'clock. Don't be any later than that. Sacred Heart Griffin, Ken Leonard, the father of Derek Leonard, taking on Montini. The Broncos going for yet another state championship. Then Richards and Batavia, they'll match up once again. They've met earlier this year. Great one in 7A. A lot of folks looking forward to Lake Zurich and Mount Carmel. That could be another 16-8 type game. Then we'll close it out for the 2013 football season when Loyola Academy takes on Naperville Central. Weather is supposed to be very similar to today. Temperatures in the 30s, slight winds. November. Here we go with a 3rd down and 3. Loading up here on the right side. Now a penalty called against Rochester. Geneseo folks are happy.
False start. Offense remains 3rd down.
A 3rd and 3 becomes a 3rd down and 8, and that's after a timeout. False start.
He's not happy. That definitely changes the play call when you go from 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 8.
And Rochester will take another timeout. And it has not been the most pleasant of championship games for that man right there, even though his team leads 16-8. Rochester had to burn another timeout here. Well, this is a crucial play in the ball game, but again, we heard Derek Leonard talking to Kelly Kroll at the half, not happy about a lot of mental mistakes. They cleaned it up a little bit here, but certainly not to the level that he would expect a championship team to play at.
They just made a lot of mistakes this game. There's been several penalties, and then it's been obvious in some of the play calling, you know, that there was mental mistakes with different people thinking they had different responsibilities.
But as it stands, he is just 3 minutes and 14 seconds away from bringing home a 4th consecutive state championship trophy to the town of Rochester. A 3rd down and 8. Rochester after the 21-yard run.
Such a patient runner. I mean, usually you do not want a running back who dances around in the backfield, but the way that he kind of attacks the line of scrimmage, who sees there's no way to go, bounces it out, but has such great vision of the field in order to bring it out that wide, get the 1st down.
Geneseo stopped the clock one time by way of a timeout. Berberet has got his numbers up to 138 yards and a couple of touchdowns tonight. He will get it again. Takes a hit and the whistle's blown quickly, and it will allow us to tell you about our Burger King player of the game. And he's picking himself up the field right now, number 23, Drake Berberet. What has he done tonight? Well, he got the first touchdown of this game with that 8-yard touchdown run in the 2nd quarter. He also had a 2-point conversion, and then here in the 4th, touchdown number 2 for Berberet. That made it 16-0 following the 2-point conversion. It's subsequently 16-8, but Drake Berberet, the Burger King player of the game.
So effective at following his blockers and staying very, very close and just looking for his lane or his alley.
Kelly will wrap both arms around the ball. Clock continuing to tick, tick, tick. This ball will be snapped, could be snapped, with about 1:13 to play in the game. Larry Johnson Jr. having to decide when to take that final timeout. 3rd and 5. Berberet inside the 20-yard line. That is good for a 1st down.
Berberet on the carry.
And they are starting to celebrate on the Rochester side of the field. They've held their breath through nearly 4 quarters. No public school team has ever won 4 state championships in a row in the state of Illinois. Rochester is under a minute to play, and the four-peat signs on one side and the ejection on the other. The drive on this play, the drive in this game, the Country Financial play of the game coming on this drive. 3rd down and 8. Drake Berberay just moments ago going for 21 yards and a first down to an effect ended. You see number 95 coming into the ball game. There's Drake Berberay's number. But 95, Evan McMinn. He's coming into the game. McMinn missing this season due to injury.
Again, one of their star players, number 95, went out injured this year in the Sacred Heart Griffin game, which is unfortunate because along with him and Matt Swain made one of the most dynamic duo at defensive end positions through and maybe the entire state area. He's been out ever since with a Liz Frank fracture, season-ending injury. They're going to allow him to come on the field and take the final knee. The only reason he dressed for this football game was for this situation, so he could share in the state championship title. He was such a big part of this team, a 3-year starter. He's been a great player for the Rochester Rockets. They're giving him the honor of allowing him to come out and take a knee.
Kelly takes the snap. McMinn is on the field. He will be a part of the 4th consecutive state championship team from Rochester. He's been on the last 3. This one not easy for the Rockets, and they will not have to snap it again.
It's an incredible performance by Geneseo, though. Rochester's such a powerful team. A 3-time defending state champion. Now they're 4th, facing a team that's holding them to 16 points and completely throwing them out of rhythm the entire game. It was an outstanding performance by Geneseo's defense, and Rochester found a way.
I think a lot of folks do not understand the pressure that goes with winning back-to-back and then possibly back-to-back championships as they did tonight. But Rochester has done it. 4 in a row for the Rockets. 16-8 over Geneseo for the 4A title.
Grow your own way.
There's a first time for everything. We achieve goals.
Grow your own way.
Celebrate.
You can grow your own way.
Cherish and protect what really matters.
Now, I think a lot of members will be staying tonight in order to see this.
Back at Husky Stadium in the campus of Northern Illinois University, there is your final. What a tight one, what a great one. Rochester 16-8 winners, and standing by with Derek Leonard is Kelly Kroll.
Wow, Coach Leonard, 4 in a row. You said to us earlier this week that this team just doesn't know how to lose, and once again, they proved that tonight. How good does this feel?
It feels great. You know, like you said, they don't know how to lose, and this was a game that probably no one expected. I told everyone this defense is really good. They're extremely well coached, and we want a type of game that we're not used to. But I give credit to our defense and our defensive coaches. I think it showed how good our defense was and just how good this football program is. We're the first public school to ever win 4 straight in the whole state of Illinois, and there's a lot of good programs. But I think it shows how great of a program we have, and ever since I've been here, I've had great kids that have believed, and this is what right now we're the best, so what can you say?
I want to talk about Robbie Kelly for a second, too. You know, he's used to be able to go through the air. Tonight, you spoke about how smart of a guy he is. He chose to do a few different things tonight. How big was that for this win?
It was huge. I mean, and he had a bad performance, probably his worst of the year. But to grit out like he did at the end, showed his leadership and showed what Robbie Kelly's about. And I couldn't be more proud of a kid in the game than I am of him, because him and Drake Berberay, we ran the ball against a team that doesn't get ran against them, because that's what they do, and we did it. So in every way way this team showed, I think the doubters, we're not a physical team, but we showed we are a physical team, and we don't play defense, and we played a lot of defense tonight, so I couldn't be proud of the team.
Absolutely. Coach, enjoy this one. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. All right. Have a great day.
Matt, over to you guys.
All right, Kelly, I'm with Drake Berberet, the senior running back, state champion again, after again, 4 years in a row. How difficult was this?
I mean, it's not easy at all. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work in the off season, during the season, and we came out and we got the job done.
How difficult was this? This is not the typical game that you guys have on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, they came out and they were really physical, and I mean, we had to step up in the second half, and we came out and did it.
What's the key just to sustain these drives? I mean, you guys are used to playing fast, and it wasn't going that way today.
No, I mean, our defense did a great job. They got stops after a while. But our offense finally, we came through and got some big plays.
You're a state champion your entire career. What's that like?
It feels great. I haven't lost in the playoffs yet.
And you never will. Congratulations, Drake. All right, Dave.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. And indeed, no losses. Rochester now has won their 20th straight playoff game. That is as impressive as 4 state titles. That's what it takes. But here's a team, and I think Derek Leonard said it over and over in that interview, Boomer, talked about program, and it's all about program.
Yeah, I mean, they won in a way that they are not accustomed to winning, but they've really showed, how good they are as a team, across the board. I mean, they're considered an offensive program, but here today their defense showed up. They're considered not that physical and more finesse. Anytime that you're branded with this spread or a West Coast type offense, you're branded as more of a finesse team. And here they went toe-to-toe with a powerhouse, smash mouth, very physical football team in Geneseo and held them to 8 points.
Geneseo in the state championship game for the 10th time in their history. They have 4 state championships. The last time they were here, it was against Metamora in 2009. They were blown out that time by the Redbirds, but here they hung tough. They had it 8-0 at the half, and even when they were down 16-0, they battled back, cut it in half as the Menards Trophy presentation, the second place trophy, going to the Maple Leafs from Geneseo. So they will hold that trophy high. Rochester will get their 4th consecutive one, and I think we overlook a lot of times, as I mentioned right at the end of the ballgame, the pressure that comes. You don't want to be that senior class at Rochester that did not win a state title.
Well, of course. I mean, there's been so much success there that the assumption and the precedent has been set as state championship. Not a conference title, not advancing into the playoffs. Not a quarter or a semifinal. The expectation that Rochester is a state championship, and it's been set now for 4 years.
Geneseo will kind of look back and say what a great year we had. Only a couple of losses. They play in a state title ball game. Rochester did not lose a game on the field this year. Their only loss came a forfeit loss to, ironically enough, Sacred Heart Griffin. So they end up with the 13-1 record. They'll get a chance to hoist that state trophy. Here is your Menards state trophy presentation. Derek Leonard is making a familiar walk. This time it takes place at Northern Illinois University. Hugs all around for assistants on his staff. His brother is one of the assistants on his staff, and he loves that defense and how they came up big. And indeed, talk about a night the defense had to produce. It had better been tonight.
Yeah, they did an incredible job. I mean, in order to consistently play that assignment type football and prevent any big play from occurring, in actuality, the only big play was a long pass play, that was connected by the tight end crossing the field. But ultimately, it was just such a tremendous job, and the hats off to Geneseo. They did such a great job of holding Rochester to only 16 points.
And a football goes to Derek Leonard, but it's that one. The Menards Trophy presentation goes to Rochester. They have won their 4th state title in a row in Class 4A, 16-8 over Geneseo. That wraps up day number 1 here in DeKalb. Make sure you join us beginning at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's a beauty in 5A. Sacred Heart Griffin, Montini, it all comes your way. Compliments the Illinois High School Association.